What are some of those tips and tricks that you're happy to share to say if someone's a mom that's currently on maternity leave and wants to pursue something, um, that it doesn't all need to happen at once, and sometimes things take a little while. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. And I love hearing you talk about this. It's actually an area I'm quite passionate about. I think with the advent of social media and fast media and the news cycle we have and the glamorization of what success looks like, we see a lot of overnight success, or what appears to be overnight success. What we don't see is what it took somebody to get to that point. We see lists such as the rich list, the fast list. Fast is now successful. Well, fast is not always sustainable. And in the long term, I often look at those fast performing lists that you see published in the business press, and I think, how many of these companies are actually around in 10 years' time? And what happened along the way? So I think the key for success is going to differ person to person. It's going to depend on how they live their life, what their commitments are. Do they have a family they have to balance? What are their financial circumstances? What do they have to achieve out of their business? What stage of life are they in? A young person can do things very differently to somebody else. A mum can prioritise her time differently to somebody who doesn't have children. But what I say is defining what success is for each person and then working towards that is the way to go in my mind. I'm all about slow, sustainable success. And a brand that I really love, that I often refer back to in this sense, is the lovely muesli brand Carmen's that we all see in the supermarkets. I mean, it's an incredible story of an Australian woman who worked at a farmer's market at a local muesli brand. She then rustled up about $1,000 or so and bought that brand off her boss. And slowly, she built that brand up. We see Carmen's as the international success that it is now, but the story is decades in the making, and it involves calling supermarkets, calling Coles, begging for a meeting, persisting until the products landed on the shelves under a trial. It then goes on to talk about reinvesting profits into buying products off the shelves to prove to those buyers that the product was successful. Crazy stuff, but along the way, this business has just grown sustainably and scalably. It's not an overnight success, and that's the benchmark for me. I'm not interested in the overnight success or those fast metrics that in my mind are not necessarily the most sustainable. So the advice I'd give to a mum is, first and foremost, work out what works for your family, and don't worry about what that looks like for other families. Your family circumstances are going to be different to your next door neighbours. But work out what you can achieve and make a start. A start can be as simple as registering a business name, starting a small social media presence. It can be developing a prototype product and getting some really valuable feedback and testing from family and friends. As your motherhood journey evolves, you'll work out what your capabilities are and how you want your business to evolve. You might learn some valuable lessons from that prototype testing. You might get a lot of interest in your business, but along the way, I think if you can stay true to your values, always price your time appropriately. I think we see a lot of mothers not necessarily valuing their worth or undervaluing themselves, their product, their service, and in effect, their own time as a means of getting started. You don't have to do that. A slow start that is a sustainable start is better than a fast crash and burn.